Here's the information for my final project. The title of the project, book list tracker, my name, Aaron Archer, my GitHub username, Straight Road to Success, my edX username is FriendlyXD, city and country Lake Oswego, Oregon, in the USA. The date I recorded this video, August 29th, 2025. To begin, the introduction for my program is it's a book list tracker, and it allows you to add books and save them to a list over multiple sessions, and it tracks whether you read them or not. It allows exporting to CSV and searching by author. It also allows listing all of the books in the file. Exporting to CSV function can be useful for other platforms online or programs such as Goodreads. Here's a showcase of how my final project, book list tracker, works. It starts out with a function to find. This is JSON, CSV, and operating system. Starts out with a books file, set to books.json, and keeps a global list of books. The first defined function is that it's going to load books and create an empty list only if the file doesn't exist. We're using a pre-filled books.json, which can have books filled in it during the test. We'll get to that later. I'm going to open the books JSON file, and it's going to save books to the file as they're written or added to the list. The main function includes the global books, so I'm using a global variable here in all of the functions, to where it gives a menu. This menu can be seen here. Add a book, mark a book as read, filter books, list books, export books lists. Gives the options to do each one and what's going to happen. So if we press 1 to add a book, it's going to call the save book function here and allow what we input here to be added. I should technically have a book set to add. I don't have one currently, so we'll make one up. Book, title will be author. Have we read it? No, we have not. The book has been added here. Now going to mark the book as read. The title of the book is book. Yes, we have. It's now been updated to true, as we have read it. Alright, so we get down to define function, add book. It's going to take our input for title and author and if it's been read. And in the dictionary, it's going to put this format here, which we just saw working. Mark read, which we also saw working, is going to mark it as completed and update the read value true or false boolean here. Filter books is another function that we have here. We can filter by author. So we'll go AU, or am I typing? AU. So we have author, which allows us to filter by partial name. Very helpful. So we'll go filter again. Did I do something? Yes, I did. That's where I was typing. Okay. Filter here. We're gonna go Leo, and this is gonna give The God Particle by Leon Letterman. Read it? No, I have not. Okay, so list books is another function that we have here. We list the books, it's going to show all of them. Okay. Export books to CSV, which is currently empty. So we're going to export the books. If it's empty, it's going to give us an error. It's showing up as invisible. I see. Export the books list, which is now exported here to a CSV file for use in other places, including websites like Goodreads. Okay, and it gives the message here, export books to CSV. And here's how my test file works. We have a helper, which defines a function of add test books for these books here. So we're going to show that now. If we have a blank books.json file, which has been created, then what happens is it will add these books for the purpose of the test to make sure that they are in there as shown here. So these were added so that these tests could be ran. Very important for the functionality, as we want to keep a persistent book list over time. We don't want it overwritten every single time that we run the file. We want it to be a persistent list that tracks over time. So now that we have the helper out of the way, it loads these 3 books in there necessary for the tests. We get to the actual tests themselves. Test mark read but not found. This book is not in the books.json file, so it will not be found, and it will print a message, an output, that the book is not found, if we needed to do that. The next part about test mark read found, mark read and the book is found. It's going to use rework by Jason Fried, which is false. False as being read. So we have it here. it's important that it adds it as such, and that it starts as false, it gets marked as read, and then it gets marked as unread again, so that it puts it back the way that it was, so that it can do this test. Very important. Next is filter the books. Now we have a filter using author name and partial. So for this one, we're going to use a book Good to Great by Jim Collins and search that to filter the author, which would be the same as doing this. Filter Collins. Be the same as doing that. And so the test filter books function defined here is going to be testing for this book.